the therapist.
Oh, they mean that he never got the knas. So that's what they say.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting.
Yaakov.
Yeah.
In this Pasha Seika, Perik test, Pasuk, Yud test. What is ki yigarti mitnei af achema asher chotzof Hashem aleichem? What does chotzof mean? Dave, what does it mean?
Oh, do I have a chumash here?
We learned.
What's a pasuk?
Pasuk Yud test, test Yud test.
Test. You test. Kotzaf, right? Doesn't it mean angry?
That's what I thought, right? So Hashem, what is there a difference in Kotzaf and Kas? Hashem got angry at them.
Yeah, 100%. We have it a lot. We have it a lot that Hashem gets angry.
I'm just because we learned it a day or two ago. That's why.
Yeah, the uncle teaches it as Beroiges, right? Beroiges Rachin Tizkor, right?
Yeah.
So,
when Hashem, there's It's very interesting that they call it. It's a very strong lashon to use on Hashem. For Hashem, that's what's bothering you, right?
Yes.
This is one of my this is one of my top ones that I don't understand.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, like Hashem gets angry. And we even sometimes in tefillah we even ask. Aren't there tefillahs where we ask Hashem and Yom Nara? We ask Hashem to get angry at the other nations. No, isn't there we have that?
Didn't we have an Agadata in Shabbos about it? It means that Akash Baruch Hu acted with a midah of kas. There is no kas in front of the Eibishter. But relative to what we call anger, that's what we would call it.
Very good, Gershon.
I don't know what that means, but it's,
we say that Haggadah.
Oh, that's it. Very good. Right. Okay. Very good.
Aren't you the one that damaged Lamed?
Yeah, but that was almost a year ago. It was an Ibrior. If we want to be an Ibrior, I would remember. It's an extra month.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Making sure.
Okay, yeah. Listen, I was in Far Rockaway 2 days ago for like an hour. One of the reasons I went in was to visit Rafi Sackville. I totally forgot. I remembered yesterday that I didn't visit him.
He told me you were coming, because
I totally forgot. So now tomorrow I have to remember to text him. I'm coming in, Bez Hashem.
What did you do the whole time you were here?
A little bit,
what did you do if you came to
what did you say?
He visited.
I'm coming in tomorrow morning to be Menachem, and then I'm going right back up. You want to send anything? What?
Okay, very good. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, good.
That's what I'm saying. I felt good like this. I don't only forget my learning. Whatever.
Anyway. There can't be a time on you.
Correct. Hashem
at least you're consistent.
Hashem can get angry at me. Say,
at least you're consistent.
Correct.
So yeah, but Gemilas Lasadim is much higher than learning.
Yeah. So you mean because I was doing a chesed? Why was it a chesed? I'm doing my own. I want to say hello to a friend.
But to be Menachem is not a chesed.
No, that's tomorrow's Menachem Avos. So the other day I just came in and drove my wife. She had to, she had to take care of some stuff, and uniforms and all that chazarai. And spent $400 on my daughter's school uniforms. Is this all recorded?
That's Pekuach Nefesh. That's Pekuach Nefesh.
It is Pekuach Nefesh. Let me tell you, it is Pekuach Nefesh. Anyways, okay. Now on that note, let's start. Yeah, we're 6 lines down from the top. Yeah, so Bamine Ravavina Mirav Sheshis. Again, it's also back and forth a lot. Last night was all drushes, so it's not easy to to keep with. This is a little bit easier, but it's also a lot of back and forth. So Bamine Ravavina Mirav Sheshis. Ravavina asked from Rav Sheshis. So again, we're talking about a daughter. Who gets the money? The knas money. Who gets the money? The daughter. The father gets the money or not? So now, what happens when the father dies? Right? So if you have a daughter who's getting fed by the brothers, meaning the brother is Yarshin the father, and part of the deal is that they have to support the Yisaimas. So the question is, do the kids take the place of the father? Meaning, and just like the father had to feed the daughter and he got to keep her earnings, so the brothers can say the same thing. We feed the daughter, so we also should keep the earnings, right? So again, she's being fed from the brothers. Who gets her earnings? And do we say that they're in the place of the father? Just like over there, her earnings go to the father. So to here, the Ma'asiyah go to the brothers. Or it's not comparable to the father. There, the father's giving from his own wallet. He's feeding her. They're not, the brothers are not taking money out of their own wallet. They're taking money out of their father's money that they yarshin. So therefore, maybe they don't.
It's what's theirs now.
No, so I think the way that's why I was wondering that, right?
Good,
it's
so
their,
they didn't work
Yerusha.
for it, but it's their money.
It's their Yerusha. So I think the pshat is, I don't know if this is right or not. We'll see if Gershon jumps down my back on this. I think the pshat is they yarshin. Let's say they yarshin $100,000, right? They really didn't yarshin 100. Meaning you're saying that they yarshin 100, 10 grand they got to give to support the sisters, right? No, I think they only yarshin 90. That 10, they're just like an apotropos on. So it's not really theirs. That I don't know if that's right. But that's what I was thinking is the pshat. Right? Meaning they didn't say, you say, how much did you yashin? Oh, I yashin 100, I got to give 10 to my sister. No, you didn't. You yashin 90. You just happen to be holding on that other 10. If not for that, I don't see how else we can understand it.
That's the way Rashi's master. If you look at Rashi says the lesson of it's mitnai ksubas iman, meaning they never had schus to that because it's already meshubah to the
right. Meaning it's a din in the ksuba,
right?
It's a din in the ksuba, not a din in a din in Yerusha. Yeah, very good. That's a good deal. Very good. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the shaila. So do her earnings go to her brothers? Amalei, you can already see a family feud brewing with this. No. Yeah. So Amalei to Nisua, we learned the almana nizainis minichsi yisayim, and almana, right? Another time in the ksuba is that the widow, besides she gets the ksuba, they also have to support her. Right? But when she works, the money goes to the brothers. So you see that the brothers are considered in place of the father when it's as it pertains to the mother. So for sure it's as it pertains to the daughter. So Gemara asks, Midami, is it the same? Amanasa linichale barvacha. His almana, the father doesn't care for her to make money if it's gonna cost the kids, right? But his daughter, he wants his daughter to be making money, meaning he's gonna have to get his daughter married off. So the more money his daughter has, the more desirable she'll be for the shidduch. So the father doesn't care if the daughter keeps her earnings, because as long as she has earnings, so she has earnings, right? But the almana, he doesn't. What does he care? So meaning he should want to take the almana's money in order to help support her, right? So he's meaning again the daughter. It's fine with him that the daughter keeps the money, but the almana not. So maybe it's not the same case. So Gemara asks, do you mean to say that a daughter is stronger than the almana? Meaning that the person that died, the nifter, cares more about the daughter than the almana? We have a case not like that. Amar of Abba, Amar of Yossi, also almana eitzel habas. Right. So the Chachamim said that an almana is when you have to compare and not compare, but when you have to put them next to each other, right? Meaning if he died, right, and he left over an almana and daughters. So kibas eitzel achin. So what they did is they said that the almana to the daughter has the same status as the daughter to the sons. Right? When it comes to when they have very small amounts of money. Now, before we do that, what's the background here? If a guy dies and he doesn't leave over that much money, and he has boys and girls. So who gets to keep the money? Really, the boys yarshin it, right? And so then what? Really, so the daughters have to go out collecting for themselves. But that's not the way it goes. If it's a little bit amount of money, the daughters get to keep the money because it's a bizayin for them to go collecting, and the sons have to go collecting, right? But what happens if he leaves over an almana and a daughter? So who gets to keep the money and who has to go collecting? So the almana gets to keep the money and the daughter has to go collecting. So you see that the daughter is not stronger in his eyes than the almana. Right? Till now we were saying that the almana, he cares more about the daughter than the almana, and this Gemara is clearly saying that no, he cares more about the daughter than the almana. Right? Again, so the chachams asu almana etzel abas kibas etzel achin. They made the almana to the bas etzel achin. In a case where he has very few belongings. Ma bas etzel achin, just like a daughter when there are sons. Habas nizainis, the bas gets fed va'achin yishalu al apsachim, and the brothers have to go door to door. Same thing when there's an almana with a daughter. Almana nizanis, the almana gets fed. V'abas tishal al apsachim, and the daughter, has to go out to the door. So you see that the daughter, he cares more about the daughter. So the Gemara answers le'inyan zilusa almanase adifale. For zilusa, meaning for bizayin, then he cares more about his wife, who's a widow, than he cares about his daughter. Meaning, because if he's gonna, he would rather his daughter have to go door to door than his wife who's left alone, right? But le'inyan harvacha, but for making money, vita adifale. So then for his daughter, right? So that's meaning. So that it depends. Like we're saying chilukim here. In some ways, he cares more about his widow. In some ways, he cares more about his daughter. For bizyanis, he doesn't want his widow to get bizyanis. But for money, he wants to make sure his daughter gets taken care of. Right? Fine. Masav Rabbi Yosef, but Rabbi Yosef has another kash on this. Again, we were saying now that the brothers get to keep the money. That's what the Gemara is saying till now. So Masav Rabbi Yosef asked the kasha, Maisi Yadem Etziyasa. Right, so we said that her Maisa, the Mishnah says right on the top of the previous number, that Maisa Yadeh, her earnings and her mitzias, Afapi Shaloi Gavsa, even though they were not collected, meaning let's say she works, but she didn't get her paycheck. Yeah, her paycheck comes, let's say, once every 2 weeks. So she works. She's about to get the paycheck on a Friday. Her father passes away on a Thursday. Right? So who gets that money? Does she get to keep that money now? Because the paycheck came after the father died. Or were the earnings earned when the father was alive? So even though she didn't collect them, if the father dies, then they go to the brothers because they yashin it. Right? Meaning, so whatever, it goes with when she earned the money, not when she got paid. So taima the b'chaya av. And the reason is because she earned it during the father's lifetime. But if it's after the misas av, then it goes to herself, right? So you see that the daughter's earnings after the father died, if she earned the money after the father died, it goes to herself. My love, binizainis. Are we not talking about where the brothers are feeding her and she gets to keep the money? So as you can guess, the Gemara's teretz is going to be, no, b'she'ena nizainis. That case where she gets to keep the money is where her brothers are not feeding her. So the Gemara asks, if they're not feeding her, then what's the chiddush that she gets to keep her own money? Even according to the mandoma that says that a master, a rav could tell his servant, you're going to work for me and I'm not feeding you. That's why a guy that's an evet, the like siv bei amcha, because it doesn't say imach with you. Aval evet ivri the siv bei imach, but an evet ivri that it says with you. Loy kol shekain loy. I'm sorry. Aval evet. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Aval evet ivri the siv bei imach by evet ivri. It says you work. He works with you. Loy, you can't do that. If he works for you, you have to feed him. So kol shekain pitay. A kol shekain if you're not allowed to tell. You're not allowed to tell a daughter that you're going to work for me and you're not going to be fed, right? So it's pashut that if they're not feeding her, then she doesn't have to give them the money, So what's the chiddush? So that can't be the teretz. So this is talking about the extra money that she earns. Meaning, let's say that it costs to support this girl $1,000 a week, right? But she earns $1,500 a week. So does the father get to keep that $500? So the din is the father does get to keep the $500. But what we're saying is the brothers do not get to keep that $500. Meaning, even though the Gemara is saying that the earnings of the daughter go to the father, go to the brothers, that's only the earnings to pay for what she consumes. Anything more than that, we're saying that hadafa means that does not go to her brothers, that she gets to keep. So that's what this price means.
But Yaakov, the din that the father gets his ma'aseh dad, that's even hadafa?
The father gets to keep even hadafa, yes.
But let's say he's not in his Zionist.
Let's say if
Let's
he's
say the father does it. The father gets her ma'aseh dad whether he's in his Zionist or not.
No, I don't think so. No,
What's the
father,
chiddush?
Wait, the father has a choice?
I'm saying if the father's not in his Zionist for whatever reason,
He still gets them. It's midiraisa. He's kind of whatever
so
belongs to
it's
his
any Zionist. Even if he's in his Zionist, he keeps her ma'aseh dad.
Yeah, whatever she's kind of, he's kind of.
But we're saying here that the brothers don't have the exact same din, correct?
No, because midiraisa they don't own her at all.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
Right, it's only
why
a
would you
that's
assume
not a right.
When ain't any Zionist, why would you assume if it's ain't any Zionist and they don't get her ikr, that they would still get her hadafa? It's clearly a different din.
Yeah, because once the Chazal said that they get it,
Why
they get
you
it.
anything. You have no schlusim. You're saying you only have schlusim when it comes to the brothers because they're giving her ma'aseh, or they're Zionist. But if she's not Zionist, they have no din to her. So why would they get the hadafa?
Well, no, because once Chazal said that they have to feed her as a
But
tonight,
they're not feeding her. Chazal's saying she gets to keep it.
But that's because of some other kind of situation that happened, not because they
So what?
chose
They're not like
to
the
feed
father.
her.
They're not like the
What?
father. They can't keep her ma'aseh after ain't in his Zionist.
No, but once Chazal said there's two separate takanas. Eretz, I see you coming up for air.
You guys can go and create another separate chat room, and you guys can fight it out if you want.
All right. You know what it's like? What's that ESPN show that they argue and then there's a bell and then they have to stop? Now on to the next subject. What's the name of that? Part of the interruption. Pardon the interruption. Anybody have any idea what I'm talking about? Is it still on even?
Pardon the parrots.
What's
Amikan, you don't know what I'm talking about?
Yes, it's still on. It's still
You're
on.
right.
It's still on.
Time's up
It's
now. It's time to move on to the next topic.
Okay,
it's
let's
still on.
go. All right, it's still on? Okay, right. Amar Rava. Fine. So Amar Rava. Gavra Rabba Kirab Yosef Lo Yada. So again, the answer we're giving here is that when we're saying that she gets to keep her earnings, it's the extra earnings more than what it costs to keep her in the house. So Amar Rava, Gavra Rabba Kirab Yosef Lo Yada Dika Hadafa. Rabbi Yosef who asked the question. Rabbi Yosef is the one that asked the question. What's Pshan in the Brisa? He didn't know that there's such a concept of Hadafa. The Kamaisiv to Yufta, and he asked the Kasha without understanding the teretz. That can't be the pshat, right? It's a very interesting way of asking a kasha. Can't be something so teretz so pashut he didn't know. Elo Marava Rav Yosef Mastisin.
He's asking on the Sinai, not the Iker Harim. Even the Sinai would know.
Very good, very good, very good, right? Elo Marava Rav Yosef Mastisin Kufak. That's Gershon was referencing the Rashi in yesterday's daf. Elo Marava Rav Yosef Mastisin Kufak Kashli. He had a kash on the Mishnah itself. The Katani Maisiyadel Mitziyasa, her earnings and what she finds in the street or wherever she finds it, Afapisha Loy Govsa, even though she hasn't collected it yet, right? We said that it goes to the father, and then whatever, if the father died, it goes to the brothers. Mitziyasa miman gavi. How do you not collect a mitziyah, right? So what exactly is the case of not collecting a mitziyah? It's one thing you didn't collect your paycheck yet, okay. But what's a mitzvah? Like, oh, I see the mitzvah on the other side of the town, and I'm on my way to get it. That can't be what it is. So mitzvah Miman Gavi, who's she collecting it from? Elalav Hachikama. This is what the Mishnah means. Maisiyada Kimitzi also. Her earnings are like her what she finds. Mamitzi also b'chaya av la'av. When she finds something during her father's lifetime, it goes to the father. La'achar misas av la'atzma. But after the father dies, she gets to keep the mitzvah. Af maisiyada nami b'chaya av la'av. The maisiyada also in the lifetime of the father goes to the father. La'achar misas av la'atzma. And after the misa of the father, it goes to herself. Shma mina. So you hear from this. So the way Rav Yosef is learning the Brisa, he's saying no, Maisa Yodeh does not go to the brothers. It goes to, she gets to keep it herself. So he disagrees with what the Gemara has been saying till now. And the Gemara said, Itmar Nami, Amar Yudah Marav, Basan Nizanis Mina Achin, a daughter that's getting fed from her brothers. See, Rabanan, that's a kasha. On the way I answered your kasha, that it's not. It's the Yerusha. It's not their money. They just didn't yashin it. From here, it's mashma. Bas hanizaynis min ha'achin. It shouldn't be said from. She's not being nizaynis min ha'achin. The way I said it, she's not being nizaynis min ha'achin. She's being nizaynis from the father, the achin and apotropos. So it's mashma like you a little bit. So I don't know. Okay. So
it's really part of the lashon of the Banan Nukvan. It's the Yerusha that you will be getting from me has to go to the daughters. So it really is.
Saying that
it's not. It's not that they don't get it. They do get it, but it has to go to her. It's earmarked for the daughter.
Yeah. Oh, I hear. Okay. All right, so okay, either way. Okay, so now whatever it is, the Maisa she gets to keep. Amar of Kahana my timer. Why does she get to keep it? I really enjoyed this diuk here. Right? And there's going to be an inheritance. This is talking about Eved Knanis, Rashi says, right? And you give the Eved Knanis and they go as a nachla to your sons, acharechem who come after you. Right? The Eved Knanis go to your sons. Your daughters don't go to the sons, right? Those sons, licking the chops. Okay, now we own our sister. No, you don't. An Eved, you can get a Yerusha. You are not yashining the daughters, right? So Magid, so that tells us a person does not give over an inheritance of his daughter to his son, right? Meaning the daughter is not available to yashin. Fine. So maskal rabba ve'ema bepitui habas uknosis v'chavalas akasav v'davar. Maybe the pasuk, when the pasuk says you don't yashin the sister, that's talking about if she was raped, if she was the knossos, if she was damaged. But who says anything else? Right? Maybe Maisa Yadeh, you do get to keep. Meaning again, when the pasuk says that the brothers don't yashin the sisters, that's not referring to her Maisa Yadeh. It's referring to knas money that she gets. So Gemara says chavolos tsar de gufenin. What are you saying? Chavolos. Chavolos is considered tsar of the body, and we're going to see. I don't know if we're going to see. Are we going to see it later? No, I don't think so. But either way, her tsar does not go to the father. It goes. What do you call it? They Gemara Baba Kama. Rashi means Gemara Baba Kama, where it goes like into a skula. How do you call a skula? Not a skula. What we call it. Like
trust
what do you say? Trust fund. There you go. Right. Goes into a trust fund for her until she grows up, and then she keeps the money. So the Gemara says, Amara, so meaning, so it can't be that they're getting chavola. So Amar Rav Yossi bar Chanina, shepatza b'fanel. No, so it's talking about where the guy that hit her in her face, right? Which means because a woman's face is very important. So therefore, she's now worth less. So that money will go to the father, even though it's be'etzem chavola, and she should get the money. But the bottom line is now she's worth less. Since she's worth less, that money would go to the father. This does come up unfortunately, it's a summer sugi a little bit. But if a girl cuts her face, now normally we don't allow a stitch. Let's say a girl cuts her face. Somebody needs stitches on Shabbos. So can a yid dry for stitches? So if they say it's an infection issue and it's a sakana, which inevitably they say, which I'm not so sure that's true, right? No offense to Naftali, but
Most Rabanan say because of infection.
Yeah, but if they say it's an infection and it could be a pikuach nefesh, fine, then you sew it up. But let's say they say the doctor says this is not a pikuach nefesh issue, so then you can do a guy can do malacha, a yid cannot, right? But what happens if it's a girl's face that gets cut on Shabbos, right? And they say there's no sakana here, but if you don't take care of this, we're talking about a nice scar on a girl's face, right?
Did you have this one time on Shabbos? You
How is that not a sakana?
It comes
How
up.
is that not a sakana?
It's not a sakana, but you're talking about a life-altering
Right.
thing.
No.
So that's the question is.
Yeah.
The question
Minor
is.
being ugly is not a sakana, like except for some people maybe.
But it could cause a lot of problems in life, right? So the question is, what form of what do you?
Why can't you get a guy to take her?
You could, yeah. Well, first of all, who says if it's just for looks and there's no anything? So since when are we Michal Shabbos with the guy for looks, right? So I'm saying we wouldn't let her go to the beauty parlor on Shabbos. So why are we going to let her? Again, obviously it's not the same comparison. It's not the same comparison, 100%, right? But yeah, I think push comes to shove, we would allow a guy.
On what basis again? On what basis?
Again, because you could be talking about a side of God.
You haven't said what you allowed. Everybody keeps on interrupting you. I don't know what you said.
I didn't say, I said in a makam tzarech, you could ask a guy. Because for a makam, to ask a guy to stitch, drive her to the hospital and stitch it.
Why?
Who's stitching it? A Shomer Shabbos doctor?
No. You cannot allow a Shomer Shabbos. No, a guy. You'd have to have a guy.
Why? On what basis? What's the answer?
Amira la'akum for a hefsid meruba.
Hefsid meruba. Hefsid meruba is mutter
across the face.
I'm
for a hefsid meruba, yeah. Amira la'akum for a hefsid meruba, yeah.
I mean, if I could lose $1 million in the market on Saturday.
About to say. From Zeb getting that check from that Gvir, he's driving through his house with a guy.
On Shabbos. I'm saying, so what?
That's why Rabbi Benter has his driver, no?
It's a shvus to shvus, b'makim tzarech.
So I'm asking,
why is it? It's not a shvus to shvus, Gershon. It's one shvus. Why is it two? It's one dirham.
Amir la'akum of a Rabanan of refuah.
No, but the stitching is a deraisa. Stitching is a deraisa. If it was a shvus to shvus, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
If it's a shvus to shvus, it's a no-brainer. The question is that on this, you're saimach on the shitas that would hold that amira la'akum. We don't paskin like this l'chatchila, but that amira la'akum is would be mutter for a hefsid meruba.
So what? Any hefsid meruba?
No, you have to know the situation, but this could mamish be a hefsid meruba. It would be, again, it would depend on the size of the cut. It would depend on a lot of things. There's a lot of
big gash across the face. Why is that? Where's the hefsid meruba? Why is it called the hefsid meruba?
Because if she's not going to get herself married,
like Al Capone, it's very hard for her to find a shidduch. What's so hard to understand?
Right. Yeah, that's exactly
a rich guy losing $500,000. That you understand? And a girl never has to walk around with a scar across her whole face for the rest of her life. That you can't understand.
So maybe he's gonna taina. He's gonna taina. You could put cover up. Rabanan, you haven't had enough girls in your house for a while, so you get cover up. That's what he's saying, right? I don't know.
Well, I'm not saying. I'm just asking.
And a chanami, no, it's a shvera shaila, but. That would be the makam to be made. Whatever it is, that comes out from this Gemara. That patza b'fanea could be a big loss. It could be a big loss. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So Amar Rab Zeira, I had this shaila with my daughter probably 6-7 years ago. She fell on a Shabbos afternoon, and it was pretty nasty cut within the country. So at Lamaisa, we waited a few hours. till it was all Baruch Hashem. I don't know what I would have done. It would have been a Friday night. That would have been crazy. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock, and we went to the guy, and Baruch Hashem, they did a job. It cost a fortune, and the guy, there's no scar. There's Baruch Hashem, there's no scar. So yeah, whatever it is, but it was not a Pashat Zach. Anyways, okay. So Amar Rav Zera, Amar Rav Master, Amar Rav. There's the top line. Amar Rav Zera on Amar base. Amar Rav Zera, Amar Rav Master, Amar Rav. Amar Rav Zera, Amar Rav Master, Amar Rav. Pasan izanis min ha'achin, a daughter who's getting fed by the brothers. She gets to keep her own money. Why? Only the avadim go to the kids, and not the daughters don't go to the sons. Magid teaches us a person does not give over Yerusha of the schus of his daughter to his son. Somebody who's shakud means somebody who's like deep, right? Somebody who's a big masmid said this. So shakud manu, who's a shakud? That's referring to Shmuel, right? So Harav, so it means Harav Amra, but Rav is the one that said it. So Ema af shakud Amra, even shakud said it, right? Which means that both Rav and Shmuel agree to this psak. Right? So Amar Mar Barav Meimar, the Rav Ashi, Rav Meimar said the Rav Ashi, Hochi Amri Naradoi, Hilchus Akavasei the Rav Sheshis, Rav Ashi Amar Hilchus Akavasei the Rav, Hilchus Akavasei the Rav. Right? Rav Sheshis had said that that the brothers get to keep the money, and Rav and Shmuel said that the girl gets to keep the money. We pass like Rav that the girl gets to keep the money. Fine. Okay. Next mission. So Hama'aras is Pita. Somebody gets his daughter again. We have these 2 steps for marriage. There's Erisin, which is what we'll call that engagement, which is really marriage. That's Harayat Mekudeshes Li with the brachas and everything. Then a year later, they did Kiddushin, which is basically Sheva brachas. Right? I mean, like Nisuin, which is really Sheva brachas. Right? But nowadays we do it all together, which is why they read the Ksuba to separate between the Kiddushin and the Nisuin. Right? But back then they did it over a year. So here we're talking about the first case in the Mishnah is talking about where she was just, we'll call it engaged, but really it means married. So Ma'aras is Bitoy, he got his daughter engaged with Girsha, and she got divorced. Irsa, she got engaged again, Binis Armala, and then she became an Almana. I don't know why they changed it to Almana, but okay. So Ksubasa Shalai, her Ksuba money, both, she's getting 2 Ksubas, right? Or she got 2 Ksubas. They both go to the father. The Sia, if he marries her off the Girsha, and then she got divorced, the Sia, she got married, not again, married was saying the second stage, right? The Suin. Binisarmal, and she became an Amana, Ksubasa Shala, the Ksuba goes to her. Right? Why? Because once the father marries her off, then she becomes an independent, and meaning when
what does Sia mean?
Who?
Who's marrying her off? If she's already if she was divorced after Nisuin, why is the father?
Why does it even say Hisia? Because she's marrying herself.
She married herself off.
Yeah, that's true.
The Kiddush.
Yeah,
of course,
that's a good.
She's no shaykhs to the father anymore.
Right. I'm assuming that maybe the father was still involved in the shidduchim, even though.
But who cares? I'm saying, what's the Kiddush of the Mishnah? She's not married to him.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
She's not related to him in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear. That's a good order. So again, Akiva's saying that she's marrying herself off because he doesn't get, meaning a father marries off the daughter because he gets to keep the money. But here it's not like that. Okay, either way, but once she gets married,
did we have that in the Mishnah yet?
Keep the ksuba. What?
Did we have that in the Mishnah yet? I know we know it, we've discussed it, but did we have it in the Mishnah?
What? That if
once she has Nisuin, she's done. He's done.
We didn't. I don't think we had it yet. We had a Gemara. We had a Gemara about Erisin. We didn't have a Gemara about Nisuin, as far as I remember.
Maybe this is it. This is the original Mishnah.
I mean, this is the one that's saying it. Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Either way, so the Tana is saying once she got married off, she gets to keep the ksuba. Yehuda says Harishayna shall av, right? The first ksuba goes to the father, and the second ksuba she keeps. So Amrullah, they said to him, no, why is he even getting the first one? Once she gets married, the father has no rishus on her. Right? So it's a machlokes. Again, if she got engaged and then got divorced and then got engaged again and then almana, then the father gets to keep the money. But if she got married, then it's a machlokes. According to everybody, the second ksuba she gets to keep. The first ksuba is a machlokes Tanakama Rav Yehuda. Okay, so the Gemara first brings something parenthetical. Time of this, see of a Girsha, see of an Asamah. The reason is that she got married, and then she got married, and then she got divorced, and then she got married, and then she became a widow. The reason why the Mishnah, right? We said it in the Mishnah. Why is it changing? But if she became an almana twice, she is no longer allowed to get married. Why? The Tana is going like Rebbe, the Amar, betray Zimni, Havi Chazaka. 2 times is a Chazaka. Like Rebbe Shita was 2 times is a Chazaka. Since this lady, if the Mishnah would have said she became a widow, she became a widow twice, then it's also to marry her because we're afraid that the guy's going to die again, because this woman is what we call a katlanis. She's a killer. You marry her and then you die. So even though normally we paskin, it's interesting because normally we paskin Chazakas 3. For this, we're saying the Chazak is 2, and it's a Stam Mishnah, so we do paskin like this. Shulchan Aruch Even Ezra says that a woman was widowed twice. She's not allowed to get married, right? And then he actually brings the Ramah there brings a tzad that if she got divorced twice, she's not allowed to get married again. But that he says nobody's makbid on, and then he says the reason why people are not makbid on this anymore is because it's only if the husband dies from natural causes. If he doesn't die from natural causes, then we say that has nothing to do with her. It has to do with other things. So then they say, okay, so what's exactly a natural causes, right? So they say, okay, he was sick. He's this. They say that's not natural causes. So Mamela, it's not her fault. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the
mixing and matching, a divorce and then almana.
Right. So so mixing and matching is okay. Right. Oh, that's what the Mishnah. That's why the Mishnah shows that she got divorced from the first one and widowed from the second, to tell you that the mix and match is okay. You mean what happens if she does 2 and 2? I hear her. She does 2 and 2, then she's out.
I'm saying I know of a case of a woman that got divorced, then she remarried, her husband died, and then she got married a 3rd time.
She got divorced.
Then she got remarried, the husband died, and then she got married a 3rd time.
Yeah, that would be fine. That would be fine, right? According to this, that would be fine. Right? Because it's only one of each. It's only one of each. Now I wonder if it starts anew, meaning she gets divorced, then almana, so maybe she broke the divorce, then she still gets 2 more divorced, right? Before she could, I don't know. Fine. Okay, so Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Yehuda Aimer Harishana Shal Av. The first ksuba goes to the father. My time with Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yosef, Damri Tavayu, both Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef say, Sinai and Aikar right, say that Hayol Mishas Erisin Zacha Behen Av, because from Erisin the father was Zaych in it, meaning when she got engaged, she was still owned by the father. So since she was owned by the father, he gets to keep that money. So basically, what the Gemara is saying is that the ksuba starts from when they got engaged, and since he was the holder of the money from the ksuba or whatever, the ksuba went to the father when they got engaged, even though eventually she got married, but it was his from before she got married. So Masav Rava,
isn't this like Davar Shalai Ba'alam type stuff? There's nothing here.
Well, but no, that's what he's saying. That the ksuba is it's there. It's something. It's
What's
something
the ksuba?
tangible.
The guy could have no possessions.
Yeah, I hear.
So what exactly are you saying?
No, because it's not. I don't think
shibud.
it means. I don't think that's what it means. I think it just means that the shibud of the ksuba belonged to him. It's not his, but since it started by him, then that's his. I mean, the truth is, the Gemara's Kash is going to sort of say, like you're saying, let's see. So Masav Rava, Rabbi Yehuda Aimer, Harishayna Shal Av, the first ksuba goes to the father. Umayda Rabbi Yehuda b'ma'aris as bita kishi katana, when he gets his daughter engaged when she's Ketana Ubagra, and then she grows up, meaning she becomes 12 and a half, that means she's a gadol, and then she gets married. Again, she got engaged when she was, let's say, 11 and a half. So the money really, the ksuba goes to the father. Then she became 12 and a half, and then she got nisuin. She'ein la via reshusba. Her father does not have any reshus in it. Why? Amai. If you're saying that it goes with who was in charge when the Erison went down, she was a katana. Right? Again, the case of Rabbi Yehuda is saying that she got engaged when she was a katana. Then she became a bageris. Then she got married. And Rabbi Yehuda says she gets the ksuba. Why? According to your teretz, according to Rabban Yosef's teretz, the father was zeichen it when they got engaged. So that can't be the teretz. This is what you have to say. She's still in his reshus when they write the ksuba. Meaning, when do you write a ksuba? So Rashi says you write the ksuba right before the nisuin. Right? So the ksuba was written. So we don't care about the erison. We don't care about the erison. Now we're out. We don't. That has nothing to do with it. But we're saying, when did the ksuba get written? The ksuba is not written after the nisuin, right? The ksuba is written before the chuppah, right? We don't, even though there are those that sign the ksuba under the chuppah, right? But that still happens before the actual nisuin ceremony, right? The ksuba goes before the chuppah. So since she was not yet married, the father gets the ksuba, right? So that's how it's saying a similar teretz, but a little bit more technical. Umigva me'emas gavya. Okay, so when does she collect on the ksuba? Oh, so this is like a real financial thing here. Basically, when a guy writes a ksuba, so any property that he sells after that ksuba, if he doesn't have any money for the ksuba, there's a lien. There's an automatic lien on those properties, and it will go to his wife. Meaning, a guy sells a field after he gets married. Then he dies with nothing else other than that field. So the Yerush says that we have nothing to give to you for the ksuba. Say no, you do have. You go and get that field, right? So when does that shibud of the field start? From the kedushin, from the erisin, from when the ksuba is written, right? So the Gemara says that that's the Gemara Shaila. Exactly when does the lien start? So Amar Rav Huna, Mana Masayim Mina Erisin. The 100 or 200, meaning if she's an almana, so then the ksuba is 100. If she's a basula, ksuba is 200. So it starts from the erisin. The tosefes, but a lot of times you could add on to the ksuba. Right? You could add on. So anything that was added on, that gets the lien. That lien starts from the nisuin. So he's splitting it. According to Rav Huna, they split it. The basic ksuba, the lien holder gets to take it from when they got engaged. And the extras in the ksuba, the lien holder can only start taking it if it was sold after the nisuin.
We do type? Anybody do a title search for a chuppah? You ever hear that?
Maybe that's an eitzah for a new business, right? I hear. I don't know. I mean, they're already busy with the prenup, so maybe they should add that in there. But
I think they may be used to. Now that they're too busy kissing up to the shver for more money, they don't have anything of their own. It became a mitzvah already not to have anything of your own.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. But anyways, so that's the shita of Huna. Rav Asi Amar Echotzev and an Asuin know the lien holders only get property that was sold after they got married. If the guy sold property before the Nisuin, then it doesn't go to her. Okay, so the Gemara says, did Rav Huna really say that? Let's say the lady comes to Bezdin, she's got 2 ksubas, right? One ksuba is a 200, and then a ksuba that, when Rashi says the 200 ksuba was dated first, and then there was a 300 ksuba that was dated later, right? So now the question is, she's got 2 ksubas with 2 different dates. Does the second one negate the first one, or was it done in addition to it? Meaning, so does she get 500 now? Does she get 200 now, or does she get 300 now? So what's a psak? V'amar Avuna, Basal ligvas masayim. If she wants to take the 200, goiva mizman rishon, then she collects it from the date that's on the first ksuba. Shloish meis, if she comes to collect 300, goiva mizman sheni, then she has to collect it from the second date. Meaning, I don't know if it means that she gets a choice of which ksuba she wants, but meaning there's a mile and a chesaron to each. She could say, I want the first ksuba, right? And then the lien will be, she's going to take the 200, but the liens, any liens on will be from the earlier date. If she takes the 300, she'll get 100 more zuz, but if the liens are not going to start till the second date. So she might lose out on any properties that were sold before. Okay, so that's Rav Huna's psak. Vim Isa, Tigvim Masayim Mizman Rishon, Umayim Mizman Sheni. If he's saying that the original ksuba, that the base of the ksuba goes from Erison and the extras goes from the Suin, so to it, we should say the same thing. She should collect the 200 from the first time and the 300 from the second time, right? She doesn't have a choice. She doesn't have to make a choice. She'll get both. So the Gemara says, so according to you, so then why isn't she getting 500? Masayim Mizman Rishon, 200 from the first time, it's last name Mizman Sheni. So it's saying, my time. So how come Taka she doesn't collect 500? Even though I explained it before that she did, but that's the Gemara saying, how come she doesn't get the 500? Since he didn't write for her tzvisi, meaning if the guy was adding the 300 or 200, shouldn't he have written in the second suba, I'm adding on to you another 300 on top of the 200? Why didn't he write that in the suba? Right? Meaning if a guy doesn't want this confusion in court and he wrote to his wife a second suba, so write in the second suba, I'm adding this 300 onto your original 200. So can't be. So this is what he's saying. She's trying to turn his wife into a gambler. He's saying if you want to collect from the first zman, right? Then you're going to collect 200. But if you want to go from the second zman, which means that it's a later date, so therefore any fields that were sold before that date, she won't get in case the guy has no money. So if you go with the second date, since you're taking a risk, because any field sold before that second date, you're not going to get, so you get an extra 100. Right? So Hachanami, here too. The reason why she doesn't collect 200 and then 100 on top of that, right? Since he didn't write, I'm adding on another 100 onto the 200. So what he meant is he's making her be Michael the first. He's making her be Michael the first shibud. Right? Fine. All right, I'll finish in a minute. So Amar Mar, Ibai Bahai Gavia. So Mar said if she wants, she could collect 200. Ibai Bahai Gavia. If she wants, she collect with the 300. Right? So meaning she gets either one. Lema Pliga to Rav Nachman. We said it's a Machlokes. This disagrees with Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman Shnei Shtaros Yaitz Bezefazeh. Let's say a guy takes out 2 shtaros, one after the other. Meaning he goes to the field. And it says in one star that it was sold, or another star was given as a present, right? And one is dated. Rashi says was one the first of Nisan, one was the first of Sivan. Bittul Sheni is a Rishon. The second star is Mavatal, the first star, right? So maybe this disagrees because here we're saying that it's not Mavatal, that they have a choice. So no. So didn't we learn this? If in the second star he added even one tree, he added on a tree and said, by the way, you're getting this field plus a tree. The Taisvis Kasvei, that means he wrote it to add on, meaning, and he meant it not to be Mavatal the first. So Achanami, Ha'isif Lamidi, here too, he was adding something in the second. He added on. He wrote 300 zuz, so it must be that he's telling her that she could have the option to get 300 or the 200, right? Yeah, because he doesn't mean that you should collect the 200 and the 300. He just meant that he's adding more on that if she wants, she can get the 200 or she can get the 300. Yeah, okay, we'll go over this tomorrow, Bez Hashem. What time tomorrow, Tak? I don't know. What time's early Shabbos?
What time we doing?
What time is early Shabbos?
6:15, 6:10.
So 5, let's do 5:25. 5:25, yeah.
Okay, Matzah Shabbos.
Matzah Shabbos 9:20, right? The ice is like 9:20 should be fine.
Ice is like
9:20, yeah.
8:46.
Well, ice here is like 5 after 9. So you want to do a quarter after? We call it a quarter after.
No, I don't care.
Quarter. The island's been a little late, Matzah Shabbos. So okay, call it for a quarter after 9. Hopefully we'll start it up. All right. Okay, I go to now.
Thiago,
Yes, sir.
you have to title a pizza stone.
No, it's stone. Stone is not a color. Why are you taking down the scene?
Okay.
What? It's a
I wasn't
stone,
sure
unless
it's like China and stuff.
if it's glazed. It's probably not glazed.
No, it doesn't look glazed.
I hear you.
Who's that? MDK?
MDK, want to see parrots?
MDK!
He's there. Say hi. Paris, I like your background.